For of works on iterable collections. So to keep this simple, let's assume for now that there are a couple of basic iterable collections or iterable type of variables, which are strings and arrays. How do we know if a given variable is any of them? Let's create a function called is a variable iterable. It will receive a variable. Let's call it x, because we don't know if that will be a string, an array, a function, an object, a boolean, or whatever, right? So just keep it as much generic as possible. So that function should return true if x is a string or if x is an array. So, for instance, if what we pass is a string, say string, then that should return true. How do we check if a variable is a string or not? With JavaScript, we can use something called typeof. So typeof will return the type of the given variable. So if we do type of x, if it's a string, it will return a string. There are some exotic cases that we'll see in the future, but at least purely talking about the strings, that should work fine. So if we run that example, we say if the type of x is a string, return true. If not, return false. And you can see that returns true. If I pass a different type of data, like a number is not iterable, that returns false, which is correct. But now let's focus on arrays, because arrays are iterable. The function won't work yet. You see, it returns false, but it should return true. So we need to add another condition. We want to return true if the type of the variable is a string, or we can use the OR operator in JavaScript with the double pipe, or if it's an array. Unfortunately, we can't do that, because the actual type of arrays in JavaScript is an object, which is something a bit weird sometimes, right? So we need to do something different. Fortunately, with modern JavaScript, there is something called array.isArray. That will return true if x is a proper array. So that should return true, as you can see at the bottom, because even though the first condition is false, the type of x is definitely not a string, but because we are using the OR operator, so the way to read that is false or true. False or true returns true. So in other words, if we pass an array, it returns true. If we pass a string, it returns true. If we pass anything else, like an object, it returns false. If we pass a number, it returns false. If we pass a boolean, it returns false too.